Welcome into Sports Idiot Nation. It is Monday, December 8th, so that means we're bringing back in Bryce to talk about IU and Kurt Signetti and the craziness of IU football going undefeated. Also, we'll dive into the Shadur and Cam and the toilet bowl and what it means to be a Titans fan. And also, we'll hold a moment of silence as I called for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. By idiots, for idiots.
This is Sports Idiot Nation.
Sports, comedy, pop culture, and everything in between. Welcome back, sinners. This is Season 2 of Sports Idiot Nation.
Welcome to Sports Idiot Nation. We are excited as T.I. has gone full Santa. Santa, all he wanted from Santa was a Titans loss, and they didn't give it to him. But we're bringing back Bryce. Here's the story. The one episode I missed in the history of our program. The one episode. And it was without Bryce. And my God, I picked the wrong episode to miss, I'll tell you that. Great insight on college football. We're going to get into that for sure. Some hilarity to talk through. But Bryce, thanks for hanging out. Let the folks know where they can find you on the social medias.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, guys. Had a blast. So on Twitter or X, you can find me at the1796. It's Tennessee-oriented social media. We post all kinds of fun stuff over there. And then we go live on Twitter once a week, go for about an hour and a half. It's pretty good. We usually get like 400 people in there. So
yeah.
And then we
Awesome.
do I also do GovTalk. So at GovTalk931. It is my Austin P focused podcast. Austin P in the FCS. T.I. knows. My Tennessee people will know. Yeah.
Love
so
it.
if you like FCS football, check that out.
Awesome. So here's where we got to start. We got to start with Kirk Cousins. I mean Mendoza. And IU. Have you guys seen that where
Yes.
it's like that is it? I mean, it does make you laugh. First of all, these guys' mandibles. T.I.'s impressed that I know the word mandible, but their cheekbone, their jawline, their facial structure, if you will, look very similar. First of all, and then the corniness factor is there.
Yeah.
Mendoza said, "Can you believe it? We're flipping Big Ten champs." What about spit my drink out, man? I was like,
flipping can't believe it.
I was like, oh, it's Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is up here right now, because Phillip Rivers, like he just doesn't cuss, everything is flipping, and I'm sure the Mendoza brothers are probably quite similar in that vein. They seem to be very religious folks and seem to be following the path of Christ there. And definitely got some Kirk Cousins comparisons for sure. But yeah, when he busted out, can you believe it? We're flipping Big Ten champs.
Like Mickey Mouse, like
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Can you guys
rap
just
and-
imagine? He's this good right now, right? Like he's very good. Can you imagine how good he's going to be after he hits puberty?
Dude.
Like,
And
Once his balls drop, man, he's going to be hard to beat.
same thing with his brother. I mean,
Yeah, his brother had had like a deer in the headlight look though. When after that first play, he was like, "Oh shit, what? I got to go in."
yeah, Coach, that's Ohio State, right?
It's like, just because my jersey says Mendoza, like I need a little more reps, like compared to my brother there. But Fernando obviously proved he's tough as nails, man. I mean, every time they showed him, his arms were scraped up, blood all over him.
Yeah, dude.
That
hit from the first. You talk about changing just the air went out of the balloon, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
you're like, oh no, this can get ugly early, and
Yeah,
they hung in.
My gut sank there for a second for Miles. I was like, oh shit, man.
Man,
I'm a fly on the wall for this game. I can't imagine
yeah.
having such an emotionally invested interest in seeing that happen the first play and then being like, shit. But hey, they proved they belong, and we're up to the task, man. I have to say, I usually games that I don't have invested interest like that. Sometimes I tune in and out. I'll have it on. I may go back and forth. I may be doing some things, come back, check the screen. Man, I was glued from start to finish. And it felt good. Felt good
Missed
to watch
field
a game
goals.
like that.
I mean,
Yeah,
how could
like
you
all
not
of
be
it.
glued?
Yeah, it was a great game. So I mean, and it's always nice to see Ohio State. They're fan. I don't, I'm not demeaning their players, because their players know that anybody can lose on any given Saturday, but their fans think they're invincible. So it was nice to see that happen, because they were already predicting like 55-14,
Oh my
30,
God.
32-7. They had all these ridiculous,
That's the one
predictions.
fan base that nobody ever feels bad for.
Yep, it's true.
And we're upset when they win. Like, oh man, now we got to hear about these guys. Like that was last year. So Bryce, I want to ask you, just off that game, what really, besides the fact that the Indiana Hoosiers are undefeated, like I wanted to say that out loud to see how we all soak that in. It sounds so weird. But besides that, what did you really take from the game? Was it coaching? Was it, man, just players with heart? You'll take them over 5-star recruits? Like, was it certain play of the game? What really jumped out to you?
Well, number one, Mendoza's toughness. I mean, that guy he's just a winner. That stood out to me. He's going to win the Heisman, which I'm also thankful for, because I would not want to live in a world where a Vanderbilt player wins it. The coaching staff, here's the thing. So I think Ryan Day is a great coach. I don't think that's necessarily a hot take, but it's kind of a thing now where I do think there's a sense of entitlement with his team a little bit, to the point where, well, we should win because we're the Ohio State. Just like what happens, it didn't happen this year, but the last couple years with Michigan. They've been the better team than Michigan, but there's some kind of mental thing to it where they just roll over for Michigan. I think it's the same thing that happened here. They kind of have the mindset of Indiana. They will never admit this, but the mindset where it's just Indiana. I mean, we're going to steamroll them. And you realize, like, oh, wait, in the NIL and the transfer portal era, Indiana actually has some guys who can roll with us in the trenches. Like, this isn't a team that you're just going to bully.
Like that defense, dude.
Dude, the thing that I would say probably the biggest thing that surprised me was the fact that Indiana got 5 sacks. Like, that's, the Ohio State is supposed to have a more physical, tougher, stronger offensive line than your defensive line is. And the playing field is even, So that was something interesting for me to see, because I even thought Ohio State's got the better athletes. Like, once the ball's snapped, that's what matters. Clearly not.
Yeah, those sacks were swarming sacks too. They weren't like, oh, he saying busted out and ran for a couple yards and got tripped. They were like swarming sacks where they were putting him on his back, hitting him from his blind side. I mean, they were punishing him more so than anybody has all season. So I'm sure he woke up feeling that defense. But I'm with you too. My thing is, like, okay, I know this is historically basically NFL caliber defense. There's at least 4 first-round picks on there, right there. I just thought, once they get into the groove, it's going to be hard for Indiana to kind of keep up the momentum. But man, boy, was I wrong. I mean, on our show last week, I wanted to say that I thought Indiana would win, but I didn't want to curse them for miles, because I have the kiss of death when it comes to my predictions. But so I steered away from that, but I was blown away at Indiana's performance against Ohio State. I just didn't know if they could keep up for 4 quarters, and not only they keep up, they were practically in control from about, I guess, probably the second drive. It felt like, whenever they got the ball back for their second drive, whenever they stopped Ohio State. I mean, I know Sayin had a nice touchdown, but that touchdown Fernando had was beautiful. I mean, just dropped it in there in a dime. And then that's another thing too. I mean, losing Cooper, that was another thing. I was like, oh God, man, now
Yeah.
they're losing their top receiver. I'm like, this is
draining
yeah.
again. Like, oh,
I'm like, this is
no.
not gonna work out well. But man, once again, egg on my face.
You know what's interesting about it to me though is I didn't come away with a negative opinion of Ohio State. Like, I still think Ohio State can win it all. Like, it would not surprise me.
Sure.
Right.
Which,
as frustrating as that is, but yes, I don't.
If
disagree.
anything, though, I think it's just more credit to Indiana than it's more of a credit to them than a knock at Ohio State.
So let's talk about this. I want to get into that fourth down because 4th and 1, and I wonder if Ohio State knows, guys, we've played with our food too long in this game. I think it may not go our way. It may, but let's just kick the field goal. It'll be fine. If this was the national championship, which is to me how you have to play, and this is what Dave Portnoy called out. Like, he's just laughing himself, Michigan fan. But like, I go for it. Does anyone not go for it? Bryce, what are you doing here? I mean, of course they missed the field goal, so you can say, oh, you should have. But I'm saying, let's say he makes it, the field goal. I'm still, it's 4th and 1. You're Ohio State. This is the Big Ten championship. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, the thing about it is, I kind of get your point because it's not like they were in danger of being left out or anything. Like,
right.
Like, why not go for it? I mean, worst case scenario, you ended up losing anyway, so why not? But at the same time, you don't expect your kicker to miss that easy of a field goal, and you're averaging
little far
on the ground.
wide.
I mean, I know it's just 1 yard. So that, but I mean, they couldn't get much going on the ground. I mean, they ended up averaging less than 3 yards a carry.
Right.
Again, you only need 1, but still, yeah.
You're Ohio State, you can't get play action and get a tight end. I mean, come on.
You have 2 of the top 5 receivers in the country. I mean, you have a Heisman finalist quarterback. You have a top 5 offensive line. I mean,
are you the Ohio State or aren't you? Like, the Ohio State should go for it on 4th and 1 for a chance to win the Big Ten outright championship, be undefeated, be the only team in college football that's undefeated. The list goes on and on. Your haters can say nothing, and instead the haters can say everything. I just don't understand.
The Ohio State should also have a kicker that can make a 27-yard field goal.
Did you see pregame from the side? He was hitting the crossbar. Did you guys see that clip?
Yes.
He was nailing it. Like, but you can't practice for those situations, I guess. I mean,
it was a bad kick. My jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
It felt like Looney Tunes, when they show like in Looney Tunes or something, when it's like
or something.
Or like the wolf sees like the lady wolf and he's like his eyes pop out of his head, his jaw.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. I was like, Aruga, like holy shit, did that really just happen? I mean, I was like, that thing is beyond Ray Finkel. I mean, it is way wide left,
laces were out. But
as they say in Major League, just a bit outside, So again, I mean, just unexpected. The unexpected happens. You're thinking that's a chip shot. I'm with Bryce. Like you have to trust your kicker in that spot. But I'm also, in my brand of football, I think if I'm anywhere as high, anywhere near, say, like the 40, and I feel like that I have a at least potent skill positions at running back, wide receiver, tight end. 99% of the time, I'm going to go for it. So I think to answer your question, if it's national championship, maybe they go for it there, trying to get that knockout punch. But again, you really trust your kicker there, and it's not like he had multiple opportunities in the game where he had missed a couple. So, Ryan Day and his Sharpie on beard there probably just didn't see that coming a million miles away. So, I kind of see both sides to it, but maybe given the same situation now, knowing that it already happened, Ryan Day might be like, we're just going to run it up the gut with Bo Jackson here. That's another thing too. Those announcers were way too excited to say Bo Jackson all night. It was Bo Jackson. And I was just
can you
dial
blame
it
them?
back. Dial it back.
Well,
That's not
really.
That's not,
You're
that's
blaming
not my
them.
Bo Jackson. That's not my Bo Jackson. That's your Bo Jackson.
You
know?
cannot blame them. Come
I
on.
know, but you
Like
know,
T.I. saying that, like, dude, like he wouldn't have a field day doing the same exact thing. There is no way you wouldn't. That's Bo Jackson out there.
I mean, but
like,
every
yeah.
time it was like Bo Jackson. You know, like it was on playing Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo
you know?
Bowl.
Like, dial it back, man. Way too excited. You know, it's like, and don't get me wrong, he's a great running back, and he busted off a couple of chunk yards in that game. But for the most part, he was pretty held in check. And he would just get 5-6 yards, and they'd be like, Bo Jackson rumbles for 5. Like, did he rumble or did he just get knocked around a little bit? Like, so, but yeah, man, you know, all in all, I was super impressed with Indiana, and still, as Bryce said, didn't change my opinion of Ohio State. I know they're still a top team, but it just proves that hey, they're vulnerable just like the next. So you know, you get a team up there that has a good defense, a good offense, like Indiana does, and great coach. I mean, what a story there,
dude. Signetti.
I mean, what is that? He's 20. Yeah, Google it. Who do you say that to? I can't remember after what game he said that, but
no. So
Did you say
at
the basketball game?
No, here's what happened. I am your IU reporter, guys. Just count on me. I can't believe I know so much about IU. It's frustrating. But so when one of his first press conference, when he was brought in, one of the reporters just said, "What can you bring to IU that you can show that you're going to win? What changes are you going to bring? What do you bring to the table?" And he said, "Google me. I win." Like he simply just said that. And he didn't say anything else, and he wasn't joking. And then at the basketball game, he said that he was on campus for about 10 minutes, and he saw the look of defeat over every IU student. And he said, I got to get these guys going. So he had the microphone when they introduced him, and he said, "Look, I've never taken a back seat to anyone in my career, and I don't intend to right now. And one more thing. Purdue sucks, and so does Michigan, and so does Ohio State." And he dropped the freaking mic, and the crowd went absolutely ballistic bonkers. And the legend was built in Curt Signetti.
I mean, Sig's got what? Is he 23-2 in his first 2 seasons? He's won the Big Ten. He's
the
had
biggest turnaround.
college.
The biggest turnaround. Look, Bryce, I want to ask you this. The biggest turnaround in sports history? It's already college football history. There is no other stat that can say otherwise. It literally is. That's not debatable. But I want to ask you, like, think of, okay, if the Cleveland Indians were bad one year and then, like, Terry Francona took over.
Yeah.
Was that a good, or, like, I'm talking about, like, who was the laughing stock where, like, even Purdue beat IU? Who was the laughing stock of their league in, I don't care if it's hockey, underwater basket weaving, you name it. Honestly, I'm not trying to be just prisoner of the moment. Can you guys, and I'll start with Bryce, can you think of something that was bigger than this, honestly? Yeah, I don't think so.
It's kind of cheating. I mean, it's kind of cheating, but when LeBron came back to the Cavs, that's, you know,
that was a pretty big story for sure. It's a pretty big turnaround.
I mean, they go from like a 30-win team to immediate contender.
They went to did they go and win that first year when they beat Golden State? His very first year back in Cleveland?
I think so. I think it was his first year back. I don't remember exactly.
However,
down 3-1.
Now here's the joke. The running joke can be that LeBron is the coach, but technically he's not. So I'm saying coach.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, in that case, no, I can't. Not off the top of my head. I'd have to do some serious digging. I mean, Ben Johnson with the Bears this year is pretty impressive.
Yeah. You do have a good point. And what did they do yesterday, Bryce?
Yeah.
L, big
Yeah.
ol' L.
Yeah. No, I mean
Which we'll get into,
to this degree where you go
Yeah.
from like
The
literal
Bears are
laughing
not the
stock.
number one team in the country, bro.
Right.
They're
When you
the
go from
seventh
like
seed now. They're the
literal
seventh seed in the playoffs because they
literal
lost.
laughing stock to number one team is I mean
Undefeated.
it's unprecedented, yeah.
Yeah, I would say you could say what Mike Vrabel is doing this year with New England is something to kind of like put on the radar. But the fact that
Tennessee coach, is that what
but
that's about?
I'm just saying the
Boo.
fact New England has
Boo.
had so much success already. It's
Yeah.
like, is that really a turnaround? Like, it's more of just bringing them back to their standards in a way, as opposed to this turnaround.
Right. See, that's the difference. They weren't a laughing stock.
Yeah, there was no standard in Indiana. Yeah.
Right. That's why I'm saying, like, this is just unreal. And it's funny. It's downright funny to see, like, the Cleveland Browns of the league who even lose to Tennessee. And all of a sudden they are undefeated and they win their first game of the playoffs. Like, that's kind of what it would be with IU beating Ohio State. Like, that's just, we laugh because that's not gonna happen. Like, it's just not. So that's why we can't even fathom what is happening here. We talked about your opinion changing on a team. T.I., has your opinion of Duke football changed?
My opinion of Duke's social media has changed. I think that their social media game is chef's kiss, upper echelon. I have a deep appreciation for collegiate social media teams that get it.
Did I send that to you in the group chat?
Yeah, I saw it in the group chat, but I've seen it. My buddies that I play fantasy with from college and high school, we're on a group text as well. I saw it in there. It's floating around everywhere. But yeah, no, my opinion of the school football team has not changed. But yeah, social media, that tweet was awesome, and they're like, yeah, put us in the playoffs, you cowards. Just talk about
cowards,
just capitalizing on a moment, because they're like, they know they don't belong at all, but their social media team's like, hey, we're gonna have fun with this. We're going to get a lot of shares on major outlets. We're going to reap the benefits from this. And hey, we also got the win. So, but yeah,
let their uncle take over the social media. Like, that's what I want to know. Like,
the ACC is just that the ACC is a whole mess anyway. Just because here we are, everybody wanted to give Belichick his flowers. Everybody wanted to crown, Miami. And here we are, like, having to have debates on whether these teams belong, and as opposed to one of them even making it to their conference championship. So now you got James Madison in there, and Tulane, which again, I'm not taking anything away from them, but it's just kind of like, it's just a mess.
No,
man.
we can.
It's an absolute mess.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah,
let's go ahead and take away plenty. Like, it's
just a mess. It goes back, Adam. I think you and Miles and I had an early conversation. I think maybe even before college football started on one of these shows, and I said my main issue with the playoff is not the fact that the playoffs exist, because I've always wanted them. I'm glad they expanded them. But my argument was, it now makes the conference championship meaningless. And here we are now with this on a silver platter. Like, this was my whole argument to begin with. Now it's basically like the shit hit the fan. You've got teams dropping out saying, no thanks, we're not interested in a bowl. Notre Dame took their football and went home. Charlie Brown didn't lose. Notre Dame pulled it out from Charlie Brown like Lucy. And it's just a black eye for the whole situation. So I don't know how you solve it. I don't know if you get rid of the committee and it goes to just computer. I don't know. I don't know how you solve it. It's not my job to solve it, but I do think a very simple solution is that if you expand to 16, you keep it at 12, whatever you do is fine. At the end of the year, just, okay, hey, conference championship games don't mean anything. Let's just get rid of them, right? Let's say that Ohio State and Indiana wound up being co-champions for the Big Ten. And then you just take the top 12 teams at the end of the year that's ranked, and there you go. There's the people that made it. Oh, well, I'm 15th, and I think I deserve. Well, no, sorry, you're 12. You weren't in the top 12, so you didn't get to go in. This whole, like, it's just a mess. I mean, that, to me, I think that's the only way you solve it is, one, take the human element out, and two, just remove the conference championships. I know they're fun. I know everybody wants to be an outright champion, but you risk injury, you risk fatigue. You in Alabama's case, you get blown out of the water and still make the playoffs. Like, why?
So what was
they
the
didn't even need to
point?
be there.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is sitting
Or
back
Duke
like,
wins.
Dude, if you
and,
win,
yeah.
I mean,
and then if
it
you
doesn't
win,
even,
and it's
it doesn't even, yeah.
So
I mean,
here's
Ole
my
Miss,
thing.
Ole Miss, like, why would we want to play that game? You know,
Yeah.
we don't want to play that game. We're already in. Now we get to play Tulane. Like,
So,
come on.
Bryce, here's what I want to
Mhm.
ask you. Here's what it seems like. The conference championships were built before the playoff, and so they meant something at that point. And it's almost like the committee was getting things together and they were checking, all right, do we have this? Do we have this? Hey, guys, we forgot to double check about the conference championships. You know, they're not going to mean as much since we're going to have a playoff.
Mhm.
Whoops. Like, they forgot to tweak it. They forgot to say, hold on. Now that this is this great thing, this college football playoff, now it actually takes the need for a conference game away. So now we're going to do this instead. Instead of doing that, they literally left those games on the table and just said, go ahead and play it. We're going to, it's almost like, it's weird because it's just like, well, we've always done it that way. Let's think about basketball for a quick second here, boys. In March, in basketball, they do the same thing, and it does. And the Big Ten always has their game last, and it's right before the selection show every time. So you have Michigan State against Michigan or whoever. And then if Michigan State wins by 8, now they're a 2 seed instead of a 6. And if they win or they did this, it's like, but there's 64 teams. Is that the argument? I mean, Bryce, is there a way to do college football like basketball where it still matters? Or do you think even basketball's hokey the way they do it?
Yeah, I mean, people are always pissed with the basketball selections too. So, and then like T.I. mentioned, taking the human element out of it altogether. But then you kind of had like, that's kind of what the BCS was, and people bitch about that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So you're never going to please anybody. You're never going to please everybody. It just feels inevitable to me that they're just going to keep expanding it. But the thing about it is, like Kirk Herbstreit put out something saying like 16 teams feels like the perfect solution. And it's like, okay, well then you get to the 16 teams and the 17th team feels like they got gypped. And then eventually you're just getting to a point where like regular season doesn't even matter. It's like, as long as you're bowl eligible, you're in the playoff now. So I don't really know what the solution is, and I don't think anybody does, clearly. But I think this selection committee kind of made it a thing that the conference championships don't matter anymore, because you had Alabama lost the conference championship, still got in. Duke won the conference championship, didn't get in.
They're not.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of message does that send? It's like T.I. said, Ole Miss is sitting at home thinking they're lucky stars that they didn't even have to play. Like, so that's one less game that you're risking injury, one less wear and tear game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people are just going to say, like they do with bowl games. I don't know. Now, I guess the committee could say, well, we're not going to put you in if you do this. But what's to say next year a team doesn't just say, we're going to do what they do with bowl games and just say we're not playing in it. We're not playing in the championship game. We're just going to sit it out.
Yeah.
Or
we forfeit. We forfeit.
Yeah, we'll take the L.
they play and they just play all their freshmen.
Yeah.
And so the outcome doesn't matter.
Now, I think like one solution is, and this was my solution many years ago before they even talked about the playoffs. The whole argument was, well, the kids are in school, they got all this, blah blah blah. I don't need to hear all that shit. Like, come on, man. The kids are in school, but they're not really in school. I mean, if they are the cream of the crop for an Ohio State or something like that, yeah, they're going to class, but they're not really sitting in there like paying attention. I mean, half the time they're just trying to watch the clock. But kind of what I'm getting at is, it's like March Madness, how you have those play-in games, right? And there's teams on the bubble, and then you have these 2 play-in games for last spots. maybe you just take the top 12. Let's theoretically we've expanded to 16. Top 12 goes in, and then you have the next 8 all the way to 20. So you give top 20 a chance, and those last 8 teams play each other for those 4 spots. And then it's like, okay, well, those of you that were arguing because you're on the outside looking in, you had your shot, but you didn't win. So the argument is your argument is null at that point. And then we've got 16 teams that earned their spots. I mean, that's kind of like a dummy proof solution there. It's like, hey, you given the outskirt teams a chance. If they did jump the shark and beat one of those teams and wound up in the top 16, then hey, that's why the playoff exists, for that very reason. I don't think that the college football can expand past 16 teams. I mean, at that point, I just think you go up to 24 teams.
It's too many games.
Like
it's too many games. You just can't play
unless you do away with all the bowls and there's no more bowls now, and we just have
it's going that way.
Playoff. Yeah. We just have this extensive playoff, roster. I mean, I'd rather know that I had a chance to make the college playoffs than the CarQuest Meineke Bowl, or something like that.
Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah, at least the Pop-Tart Bowl is funny, But I mean, just some of those bowls,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things shake out over the next few years. And here's what I think we need to do, because I really want to get to some NFL. So I'm officially going to say this now. And to be honest, I know TI's schedule. I don't think you can make it. But I want to have Bryce back in a couple days, and we'll really, really get into the college football thing, because this can go on for another hour, honestly. So I think we're going to do that. So sorry about you, TI. I know you can't make it, but we're going to have Bryce back and go deeper into college. Is that cool? So stay tuned. Wednesday is going to be a really good show then, because we'll really dive into the college football situation and what's right and what's wrong. And I mean, we didn't even talk about Miami, Notre Dame, like really situation. So dude, we'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into that for sure, because I want to shift to NFL. And before we do that, I want to remind you that new episodes of Sports Idiot Nation come to you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Follow us on social media. TI, why don't you shout out a couple of your favorites from the Cineverse?
Oh, man, there's so many of them. I mean, the ones right now that I'm working hard on growing are obviously Turtles. Turtles does well. I mean, they all are doing well. It's like little mini startups, Like we just kind of launched a lot of them less than a year ago. Some of them 6 months ago. Other ones even less. I think Gamer Idiot Nation is only about 3 months. But film is film's
new.
brand new. Yeah, and
Idiot Nation.
Matthew Posey over there is kind of building that. I mean, that's brand new. It's not even 2 months. So, but Turtles is a good one. Puck Idiot Nation is good. I've kind of been building that one. The hockey community is very receptive and a cool community of fans. Like I didn't know a lot about hockey fans. I knew they were diehards. I knew they were pretty down to earth folks, but man, they've been the support of the page I've gotten there from just random teams all across the NHL.
And females, dude. Fun. I will say, and females.
For sure.
A lot of females are on Puck Idiot Nation. I see it.
There are a lot of female hockey fans, I feel like.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love females. So,
Spoiler alert.
I'm not gay. In case you were wondering. So. All right.
Turtles, Puck, Gridiron. Those are the ones I think you need to hit right now because I'm trying to build grid with the season going on. Obviously now coming into bowl season, coming into college playoffs, coming down to the last 4 or 5 weeks of the NFL. There's a lot of material there, So, but
let me just say this: you ever need an FCS Idiot Nation or a mid-major Idiot Nation? You know who to call.
Yeah. Hey. Sounds like you just pitched your idea. I'll work that logo up, and we'll go ahead and get that going. Yeah, I've really been wanting to kind of do, like a SEC oriented or just football in general, college football. Right now Gridiron's kind of encompassing that, but the amount of traction that we get on Sports Idiot Nation from just our college football game posts, just especially the SEC, is just like insane.
Unreal.
I don't even know where some of it comes from. I mean, some of our posts will get like 30 likes, and then one of these SEC posts will have like 800 likes and all these comments, and I'm just like, where are these people even coming from? How are they even finding this? So I guess it's just the hashtags and the groups, man. But either way, Bryce, we will definitely get you in the mix, man, because I know you got the knowledge and the skill to jump into the Cineverse with us.
Yeah, that would make sense to get him plugged in. So you talked about gridiron and football, so let us head over to NFL. And here's a couple things that I want to get going with you guys. There's two conferences. I was talking to T.I. in the group chat earlier. There are two conferences that are the redheaded stepchild, and I just want to go over some numbers. Let this sink in a little bit. So 11-2, 9-4. Okay, those are some division leaders. We're good. Okay, 9-4, 8-5, 8-5. All right, and then 7-6, 6-7, 4-9, 3-10. What I just described for you was the AFC. So 11-2 and 9-4 was, of course, the Pats and Bills. The Pats don't play; they have a bye, and the 11-2, 8-4. That's the Broncos and Chargers, and then 9-4, 8-5, 8-5. That's the Jags, Texans, and Colts. It's shaping out way different than what we thought at the beginning of the year with the Colts and Daniel Jones now done. That's hilarious. Not hilarious that he got hurt. I just think it's hilarious that the Colts are in a situation where they were 8-2 and they're about to be 8-9. Like they don't. Their matchups for the rest of the season is crazy. But the AFC North is what I'm bringing up here. What are we doing, AFC North? Like, can someone poke it and see, is someone refusing to win the division as someone refused to win the game yesterday? Aaron Rodgers, like, I didn't think was going to win the game. Then you look at Lamar and you're like, what is he doing on some of these plays? The Baltimore Ravens are 6-7 and they're in second place in their division. And the Steelers, by default, by having to play teams in the AFC North, have found a way to be 7-6. And it's the Mike Tomlin factor, right? As it's been discussed. But T.I., what are we doing with the AFC North? Are we sending them to the CFL?
I mean, somebody's got to win it. And I think we've said it time and time again on this program, as Adam says. One of these days I'm going to master the actual diction there and get it correct. But we've said, that Baltimore was crashing and burning. Obviously, they've had injuries, but Lamar's not been himself. Like I have said on this,
he's still hurt.
Program a million times. I've had to bench him in fantasy football, which is unheard of. When have you ever, anybody
MVP.
ever benched? I benched him today and started Jacoby Brissett in a must-win game. I mean, I just couldn't trust it again. Last week I benched him and he got like 2 points. I was like, okay. And at some point I looked today and he had like negative 0.68 or something. So he ended, I think, with about 20 or 22, which is fine. But, Jacoby still got me 20, so it didn't hurt me at all. But I just think that Steelers made the move to get Rodgers. He's got the experience. Their offense has sputtered. Their offense is nowhere near probably what they expected it to be. But, I mean, I just think in the end that the Steelers are going to come out on top. I mean, we kind of said it last week when Cincinnati started Joe Burrow. It's like, what are you doing? Like, sure, you want to win the game, and sure, you want to get Joe Burrow back on the track, but all you're doing is helping out the Steelers. Like, literally, it's the only thing you're doing. But you're starting him against Baltimore. Sure enough, they win. You just help the Steelers. And then the Steelers come in this week and beat Baltimore. So, I don't know. I think the Steelers come out on top. I mean, somebody has to win the division. Usually the AFC South is the worst division. But thanks to, unfortunately, our opponents there, the AFC South is definitely kind of not that bad. I mean,
now there's just one shit stain.
Yeah, just one terrible shit stain.
It's you. It's you.
The two-tone shit stain. It's been there for so long. It's changed colors.
You talked about the Steelers' offense, dude. Like, get a load of these stats on the offense. They rank 29th in the league in total offensive yards. They don't even get 295 yards per game. They don't even get 188 yards passing, which is 24th, and they don't even rush the ball for 95 yards a game, which is 28th. They are just a complete train wreck on offense. And so you say, oh, so their defense must be pretty decent. Nope. They're 28th in the league in giving up yards, 20th in the league in giving up passes, 17th in the league in giving up rushing yards, and they give up 24.1 points per game, which is also very bad. And they can't get off the field on third down. They're 28th in the league in that. Yikes. And that's your division leader. That's not like the Browns, bro. The Browns actually have better stats in some ways on defense for sure. But that's your leader in your division. That is just CFL. Just go to your room, go to the CFL, and think about what you've done.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's social media. You can take everything with a grain of salt, but the Ravens obviously have got a lot of internal struggles there and issues. I was reading some stories come out about players who are unhappy with Harbaugh. Apparently, him and Lamar have got a fractured relationship. Lamar has been talking about how, to I guess confidants, to friends and other players about how he may be interested in a new coach. I don't know how true all that is, but man, when you just look at them, they on paper it's like they should be a lot better team than they are. It just makes you wonder if finally it's all of it, the boiling point is hit. So it's gonna be interested to see really what happens with Baltimore in the offseason, especially if they don't make the playoffs, because then all this will rise to the top, and we'll kind of see what happens there. I think the Derrick Henry situation, obviously last season was great for him. This year, since they've been struggling, Lamar's been hurt. They've been stacking the box on him. So I know that's put a little pressure on the rushing game because it really hadn't been up to par. So I don't know, man. I just think that there's some internal issues there that we don't know the full story and that we may find out in the next coming months.
You feel so sorry for the Ratbirds, don't you, T.I.?
I do. I feel very sorry for the Ratbirds and their fan base and all their incarcerated fans across Baltimore and beyond.
So, Bryce, are you ready for the NFC? Because it's about to get even more hilarious here as we look at the standings here. So here's some numbers for you: 8-4, 6-6-1, then 9-3-1, 9-4, 8-5. Then you have 10-3, 10-3, 9-4. That's my division. And then you have 7-6, 7-6, 4-9, 3-10. So the reason I bring this up is because the game with the Steelers and the Ravens was like a who done it and who's gonna lose, because they both it was just a bad, and that division's bad. And now you have the Saints who are eliminated from playoff contention at 3-10. And they beat the Buccaneers, who are now 7-6, and the Panthers are now 7-6. And you get to a certain point in the NFL where you're like, well, no one's going to want to see them in the playoffs. I am signing up right now to play the NFC South. If I'm the Niners, like, where do I sign? I will sign my mortgage over. Like, please. Like, we like Baker. Baker got me a fantasy football championship. Like, and Todd Bowles. Do you like Todd Bowles?
I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Great coach.
So what are we doing? Tampa?
They've had a lot of injuries, and they're shuffling folks around. They just got,
but they were winning. They were winning with those.
That's what I'm getting. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is now I think they're trying to shuffle in back some pieces of people that hadn't played for a while, and it just got that whole unit discombobulated a little bit, Because
if you lose to the Saints, you're discombobulated. I'll tell you that right now.
definitely are. But they've got Chris Godwin back in there. He hadn't played. They've got Bucky Irvin. He hadn't played. There's a lot of adjustments there for everybody. Yeah, Mike Evans has been out. So
Dunzo.
who knows really if that's the problem. But I mean, if you're adjusting to all these backups and rookies all season, and then now you're trying to get back to your vets who you haven't played in a while, and obviously they're coming off injuries. Not that Bucky Irvin is a vet, but I mean he's a starter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that is coming to play there. But yeah, it's very surprising that game definitely shocked me, and the fact that now they are tied with the Panthers for the lead in the NFC South. I guess the Panthers technically no, because they play each other. They haven't played each other yet, so they still have 2 games against each other. So
Yeah. So stick with the NFC real quick, because I do want to get to Shador versus Cam because it was hilarious. But before we shift over to the AFC, here's how crazy the NFC game is, or the NFC conference is, and I want to get into Bears Packers. Great game.
Mhm.
And if you're the Bears, you go from being the number 1 seed at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and by 7 p.m. you are the 7 seed. I'm going to say that one more time. At 4 p.m. you are the number 1 seed in a very good NFC. And by the time you end that game, you are now the bottom of the barrel. That has to be a first in a 3-hour period. It has to. That is wild, and that is how crazy and discombobulated the NFC playoff picture is. And that my 49ers, by sitting on the couch, jumped from the 7 seed to, I believe, the 5 seed by not even playing. I mean, and by the way, the 49ers were going to jump someone no matter what, because if the Packers had lost, then they would be the 7 seed, which would move San Francisco out of that 7 seed. So no matter what, we were looking good, which is just hilarious to not play. It's almost like they pulled an Ole Miss, or they just didn't have to play and they moved on up. So, but the Bears Packers, that was good, like good football. The black and blue division, like it's what you wanted in a football game. I thought the Bears would win, but I'm not surprised that they lost, if that makes sense. T.I., did Caleb do something that made you think, like, to go back? Are we flip-flopping again on Caleb Williams?
Well, I mean, we talked about this matchup last week, and I said that I felt that, the Bears are obviously for real, but I still felt that the Packers were going to get them. I said the Packers were riding that momentum from knocking off Detroit on Thanksgiving, and they just, got a little division swagger going on there. And I kind of just felt they were going to get them. Now, when Caleb was driving in the end, and he's right there, trying to make a play. We've seen that this year where he normally would falter, a Bears QB would falter, but he gets it done. So I thought, hey, he had a chance, but Nixon had an incredible interception there. And that's just, that rivalry is just, it's always one of the best rivalries, and that game is just another example of why. I think as, Caleb Williams keeps growing and kind of experiences these tough losses, I think that he'll be fine, but it doesn't change my opinion of him. I still think Ben Johnson's a great coach. Caleb Williams has taken the next steps he needs to be a franchise QB. Even though I laugh at their running game a little bit, they have a pretty damn good running game. They've got some pretty good receivers, although Rome was not playing. Could have been a different outcome if he had been in there. Maybe they wouldn't struggle so much in the passing game, but. But I mean, what was it? It was 21. Was it 21-7 before? I mean, were the Packers up by 2 scores? I think, and then it's 21-21, and
yeah,
and that's kind of when I was like, all right, well, Caleb's showing some testicular fortitude there, whether he paints his nails or not. He's bringing them back, and making a game out of it. So, but yeah, in the end, I kind of felt like the Packers were going to win, and they did. Which means I'm just obviously a genius. So
yeah, fair, yeah. So Bryce, who wins the NFC North?
I still don't. the Packers have looked horrible at times. So, funny story. My in-law, my father-in-law is a diehard Packers fan. And I give him shit all the time because they will look like the best team in the league one week, and then they'll go out and lose to the Browns.
Yeah.
Or they'll,
Yeah.
Or they'll tie the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, look at their losses. They lost to the Browns. They lost to the Panthers, which the Panthers' loss isn't as bad as we thought it was.
Right.
They put up 7 points against the Eagles in a loss, and they tie with the Cowboys. I mean,
Mhm.
and then they go out and they beat the Lions on Thanksgiving. That's always impressive. They beat the Bears, who were in first place. They beat the Lions. So they actually got the season sweep with the Lions. So that's going to matter. I still don't think you can count out the Lions, though, in a postseason picture. I am going to trust the Lions more than I trust the Bears. Caleb Williams is kind of another quarterback that I don't really know what to think of yet, because in that last drive, I did watch most of the Packers game yesterday, and basically Caleb Williams, he'll make like some incredible throw. Like he had one throw on the sideline to Zacchaeus in the end zone, and I was like, that like could not have been placed better. But then he'll do some weird shit, and it's just like what was that?
Yeah, run back.
I didn't think the throw in the end zone, the Nixon interception, I didn't think he had to make that throw right there. I just don't trust him yet. And I mean, he's a young quarterback. I'm not saying he can't be there, but it's first-year head coach with a young quarterback.
Mhm.
I still trust the Lions a little bit more, but I think the Packers are probably the most, just because of having the sweep over the Lions already. That's who I would put money on.
Yeah. That makes sense. All right, boys, are we ready? Don't and Cam Ward. I poke fun at the Titans that they're so bad that they don't even lose correctly. Now the Browns do the browniest thing in that they make this fierce comeback, and for the 2-point conversion, what do? They leave the quarterback on the sideline. What in the Cleveland Brown are we doing? You have a chance to tie the game, and the dude who has brought you, I will give him credit. It was him. It wasn't someone else that brought them back. It was Shedeur Sanders. Give him the credit. So if you're going to give him the credit, you're going to give him the start, you're going to give him the nod, would you just put him in the huddle for the play? No, we're not going to do that. He's going to be on the sideline. Okay. Then, dude, at least they know how to lose. At least the Browns know how to lose. The Titans don't even know how to do that well.
Listen, the whole narrative everybody's seen, trying to make Shedeur a martyr and stuff. I do think after that game, I do think there may be some actual something to it. I don't. Stefanski might.
He's on the sideline.
Stefanski might actually hate him.
He's on the sideline.
Yeah.
I legitimately think he did not want. He wanted to tie that game with Shedeur getting no credit for it. I really think, because that's the only logical explanation.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Their fans feel the same way. I see a lot of their fans are just like, "What is Stefanski steal? Get this man out of here!" Social media was just in an uproar over that. Crazy. It's like this guy leads you on 2 touchdown drives. In late in the fourth quarter, and then you pull him out. It just made absolutely no sense. It's almost like you're just trying to sabotage your team, and as well as trying to sabotage Shedeur. But I mean, he's clearly on his way out. There's no way he keeps his job. And whoever comes in there, maybe he has a game plan for Shedeur, or maybe he's the odd man out. I don't know, but yeah, Stefanski totally shit the bed in that one. They had all the momentum. Had all the momentum going. I mean, it was like you could have tied it and went to overtime. Probably won the game.
I mean, it's I'm not expecting him to get fired, this week or anything, but that is kind of you can go ahead and say the Stefanski tenure's over, in my opinion, because losing to this Titans team, you should just be immediately fired. I mean, and it's probably going to work out that way because Jonathan Gannon's probably going to get canned, and Stefanski's probably going to get canned. So the Titans are like the death nail for any coach
Yeah.
that's on the hot seat. You lose to this CFL team and you're done, buddy.
Yeah, they're like that Grim Reaper meme where it's like knocking on the door, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to all the coaches' offices like, hey,
So
me again.
T.I., I wanted to run something by you if that's okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble for this take. You might kick me off.
Nah. Believe me,
So
I'm still here. You're safe.
Yeah.
I have been dedicated to the Titans for my entire life. The year that we went 2-14, back when there was a 16-game schedule, Tank just sucked for the duck.
With Wizenhunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Wizenhunt game, I was there. I watched every game on TV on the road. Every game, 2-14 season, 3-13 season, I watched every game still, and I still was a diehard. This is the most checked out I have ever been. It's the most joyless season I've ever been a part of. Like, I honestly, like, people will roast me for this. I have not watched one game from beginning to end this season. It's the first time in my life.
I get it.
It sucks. Today really sucks because you win and you don't have the number one pick as of now. And Cam Ward did not play very good. So, at least it would be like, I could deal with losing the number one pick if Cam Ward like took a bunch of steps and like threw for 400 yards. But he kind of played like shit, and we stumbled ass backwards into a win. And in the first game that we won, it was the
same.
A Monty Python skit happened.
Oh my God! Yeah,
they were kicking the ball around, like DeMarcado was kicking the ball around. They were dropping the ball. It was the weirdest thing you've ever seen, like a series of unfortunate events. It's just this team. I don't know if you see where I'm coming from here, but like watching the Titans in 2025 is you have to enjoy pain. Like you have to just like the game today.
There's a tweet that I shared that somebody had, and it was like, if you are watching the Titans game today, and it had you are these three things. It had you are 1, a diehard, 2, you probably have a therapist, and 3, you probably are a sadomasochist. I mean, I feel you for sure. I went on the record and said this is the absolute worst Titans team I've ever seen. Like I said, I've been watching them since my first Titans game I ever went through the preseason game at Vanderbilt against the Redskins. That's how far I go back, and I still get people calling me a fake fan, which is hilarious. But I'm like, yeah, don't you think I would have picked a better team to be a fake fan of? Like, not gonna.
Well, I hate that mindset though. That enrages me more than anything is when you're a fan of something, right? So that means you can never criticize it.
Yeah. Oh my God. People are like, when I say something bad about Cam Ward, people are just like, "Oh, you're just a hater." I mean, I've had literally people call me racist. Oh, you're just racist, and I'm like, okay. Let me show you my graveyard of Titans jerseys in my closet.
Yeah,
okay?
for real.
I do not own one Caucasian jersey. My wife owns a Drew Bennett jersey, and that's just because she thought he was cute. Okay, like, come on.
We just expect better and want better. I mean, you're allowed to criticize, and that's the thing is this team has so much to criticize and not very much. Like at least the 2014 team, you had some like legends. You had Jarrell Casey, you had Wesley Woodard. This team just isn't very likable to me. I mean, maybe I'm being too harsh, but it's like I don't want to watch Arden Key do cardio. Like
no.
This I don't want to watch. I'm tired of watching Chig. I just am. I mean, I love him as a person, but I'm tired of it. It's just
he's got to go.
Teabagging a bear trap would be less painful than watching the Titans in 2025. It is.
Yeah, it's like I said last week. I have more excitement watching linoleum curl in my grandmother's kitchen than watching the Titans. So yeah, I get it for sure. Luckily there have been some games this year I've had to check out. I still follow my phone, but back when my son was playing soccer. He's out for winter right now, so I am not safe from Titans games because I have an excuse for soccer. But luckily today he did have practice, so I did have to watch the second half on my phone. which helped me a little bit because I was out in public talking to other humans instead of just staring at my screen and yelling at my TV like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? But yeah, I mean, when I'm sitting there watching, it's like at halftime, it's like 17-13. Shadur's got over 200 yards. I'm sitting here watching Cam struggling to put together 70. And I'm just like, what is going on? And then all these people are hitting my social media up. We're a rebuilding team. I'm like, the fuck you think Cleveland is? I mean, my God, like we've been how long we've been rebuilding now? You know, like we've been rebuilding for like 4 straight years. Like, you know, at some point you just have to like have accountability, and that's my problem. Is like, I know Cam is a rookie quarterback. I get that. But he was the number 1 overall pick. And what I expect from a number 1 overall pick is to make everyone around him better. Can you say that Cam has done that? No. Can you say that he has helped some rookies get comfortable? Yes, absolutely. Because he's a rookie himself, you know. I mean, DK is just killing it, you know, with all-purpose yards, and he's getting touchdowns. And he would have had another one if Cam was accurate. That's another thing, too. I have such a problem with his accuracy. You know, if it's not 10 yards out, you know, he can't really hit him in stride, and that's my issue. Is like, who did we draft? You know, did we draft another dink and dunk, try to fit the square peg in the round hole, and meanwhile we're missing out on franchise quarterbacks in the draft? Like, is that what we're doing again? Because, you know, I know a lot of people love the flying Hawaiian. I went on record that draft saying, please don't draft him. He's not going to work out in the NFL. He'll be a great backup, but he's not going to be a starter. He did have a couple moments where it looked like he was turning the corner, and then, you know, he just dive bombed. And meanwhile, we missed out on multiple franchise quarterbacks. Yeah. Luckily, one of them was Deshaun Watson, so we avoided that bullet. But
we don't draft with the shit anyway, so we probably would have missed out. We probably would have missed out regardless. That's the thing. I go back and forth, Ti, between like what. Part of me wants, like, I agree with what you're saying. Like, Cam Ward's the number 1 pick. He should be elevating his team by now. He should be taking steps forward. He should look markedly better than he did in week 1, and he doesn't. But then again, like, Adam, I don't know how much you know of the Titans roster, but, like, you could go to Home Depot and find 3 workers, and they would be just as good of weapons for Cam Ward as what we have. There is nobody that's not a Titans fan can name a receiver other than Calvin Ridley on the team. Like,
right.
The weapons are atrocious. He's got 3 4th-round picks that he throws to. That's it. His offensive line sucks. His coach sucks. His defense is not actually that bad sometimes. So part of me thinks, like, who could succeed in this? Like, I don't know if Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen could look good when you're throwing to Io Manor and Gunnar Helm. Like,
Josh Allen, his first 3 years in the NFL was nothing to write home about at all.
So I'm not giving up on Cam by any means. Like, I do think if you get a coach, if you get a competent coach, you know, I don't know if the offensive line will ever get worked out. That's a thing. You throw a 1st-round pick every couple of years and they end up sucking.
I mean, you could put 4 turnstiles right there, and they would still stop more players than our offensive line does. You know,
it's like, it's depressing because you have like the meme. I know you've seen the receiver meme where like Tennessee's where receivers go to die. You have Randy Moss, Andre Johnson, Julio Jones, DeAndre
Ridley,
Calvin Ridley. But it's kind of like that way with offensive linemen too. Like Lloyd Cushenberry was one of the best centers in the league, and he sucks a complete asshole.
Yeah,
like
terrible.
He is horrible. And then Aaron Brewer, who we replaced. You know, I mean, we replaced Aaron Brewer with Cushenberry. Now Aaron Brewer is like getting Pro Bowl votes.
Yeah,
and Bill Callahan, who's supposed to be this legendary offensive line coach, couldn't coach his way out of a wet paper sack, and it's like Nashville's cursed or something. I don't get it.
And again, too, I catch a lot of flack from some of my Titans friends, but I'm not. I wasn't sold on J.C. Latham with the pick. I'm still not sold on him. I'm like, you're this far in your career and you're committing false starts every game. You're drive killers, and I'm just, again, I try to tell people, I'm like, that was Brian Callahan letting his daddy get the player he wanted in that draft. It was like, I know I've joked about my infatuation with Brock Bowers, but I mean, the damn guy was like, they asked him, where do you want to go? Where'd you love to be? Oh, I'd love to be in Nashville. I'd love to be a Titan. And I'm like,
could you imagine if Cam had Brock Bowers to throw to? I mean, that wouldn't hurt.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Or even hell, I mean, before Will Levis went all wild, man, like he could have used Brock Bowers, I mean, that's the thing. Instead, we drafted J.C. Latham, and I'm like, why? Because he was a big guy that we're just like, okay, yeah, he's going to fix the line. Like, no, our line has been the worst in the NFL for like 5 straight seasons. And at some point, it's like, maybe stop trying to fix it with these first round picks and just maybe start digging a little deep. I mean, back in the day, I mean, you had David Stewart and, can't remember who else we got in that draft.
Michael Ruse.
Yeah, Michael Ruse. And they anchored the line for a decade, and they were like 3rd and 5th round picks. I'm just like, just get somebody in there that can recognize talent and just stop wasting these high picks on these, linemen. Now, I'm not saying that Peter Skoronski hasn't been pretty good, because he has. I think he's one of the better guys we have, but he's still been up and down as well. So, I mean, it's just, at some point, you just got to get some coaches in there that can recognize talent, and Tennessee has not been doing that, But what did Brian Callahan, what did we hear? Offensive guru. Oh, he's quarterback whisperer. Jesus, man, that one backfired in our face.
Well, if there's one positive to take away at TI, it's at least we have a competent, involved owner who is very patient and doesn't make rash decisions.
Yeah, I mean, like, who would want an owner that would fire 2 GMs and 2 head coaches in 2 years? I mean, nobody would want that, right?
Yeah.
At least we don't have that. Oh, wait, yeah, we do have that. What am I talking about?
You guys are getting me excited for Niners Titans coming up very soon. You guys are getting me stoked. I mean,
but kind of to wrap it up, Bryce, I agree with you. I'm definitely not out on Cam. That's what I would try to like reiterate to people on my page. They're just like, oh, you're just a Cam hater. And I'm like, no, I just did not necessarily want them to draft him, but I was on board with them drafting him. But I expected to see something more, and have not seen that. And I'm just like, Jared Stillman? Not a big fan of Jared Stillman, but his tweets this season have been pretty funny. And he tweeted out, congratulations to Cam Ward for crossing over 100 yards late into the fourth quarter.
It was like 6 minutes ago.
And I was like, damn it, Stillman. I was like, I hate you, but man, you made me laugh from that, And Paul Kaharshi's been great as well. He was cracking me up last week. He put out, he was like, yeah, we had, Chim, who, got the punt return for touchdown, got another touchdown, is going to shatter the all-purpose records for NFL. But yet we're not supposed to talk about him. We're supposed to talk about Restrepo, who got 2 catches, and it's just like, it's that kind of mentality of the fan base, which kind of just irks me a little bit, because I know everybody wants to see X and they want to see that, and they think that he's for some reason going to unlock this hidden potential of Cam Ward because they have experience with each other. But I'm just like,
hey, guess what? 31 other teams thought he sucked. So
yeah, Corey Curtis with he covers the Titans, I think on Channel 2. I think it's Channel 2.
Yeah,
he does. I watch his show, and I'm trying to get him on here. Actually, he said he would be a guest, but I haven't got a response back from him. But he did say he would be a guest, so I'm trying to get him on. But he put out a little poll on his show every episode, and it was like, who do you think is going to lead the Titans in receiving this week? And it was the week that Restrepo was playing, and it was like 45%, and the next one was like 46, and then there was somebody had like 18 or 13 or whatever, And he even was like, okay, apparently a lot of Titans fans have a lot of faith in Restrepo, and they think he's going to lead the team in receiving yards, And it was just so hilarious. It was like, he's even trying to keep a straight face on TV. He's like, these fans of
Can I rant about something real quick? Do I have time?
Absolutely. We got all the time in the world to rant on this show.
So, Adam, I don't know if you've picked up on this or not, but Titans fans don't have much to be happy about all that often. So this is a very annoying trait, and this will probably piss some people off, but It's true. Titans fans like latch on to these like mediocre at best players and act like they're the greatest thing on God's green earth. Trey McBride back in the day, if you remember that, T.I. Trey McBride was one, Mason Kinsey, Xavier Restrepo, guys that just completely suck. And Titans fans think that they're the greatest thing. And it's even to a bigger extent where they don't suck as bad, but they're still not as great as people think they are. Like, I got a lot of slack back in the day, T.I., because I used to not understand what people's infatuation was with Michael Griffin and Jason McCourty. I'm
my God.
These are two guys who would not start on a good team. And they're like considered Titans greats.
Yeah, we kept them for like a decade, you know.
Michael Whiffen, he was horrible, and Jason McCourty was like a league average corner at best, and everybody acted like he was prime Dion. And it's like, I don't know what it is with Titans fans. They get these like people that they just like, and they just like romanticize them. They romanticize them. It's annoying. It's like, I mean, I know at some point, you know, we don't have much to cheer for, so you want to find like an underdog story but it's like, dude, let's just call a spade a spade. Like 51 of the 53 players on our team suck ass. Like if it's not Jeffrey Simmons, Cam Ward, you know, I'll hold off on Cam. Jeffrey Simmons and like 3 other players should actually be starting in the NFL. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Sure. I mean, we've got drafts from a couple years ago that none of those players are even in the league anymore. I mean, you know, there was one draft where only one of them was still in the league.
If you look at the Titans draft picks from 2020 until now, there's like 3 players that are good. And I swear to God, any 10 random listeners could be in the draft room and they would have picked better players. Caleb Farley, I mean, he picked John Robinson's first round picks. He picked a guy that had a broken back in the first round. Then he picked a guy who is a pothead and is trying to be a rapper now in his other first round.
That's Leia Wilson, yeah.
Like, he was at parties at Tennessee State, jumping off balconies right after he got drafted. Like, it's just a mess, man. And I love this team with all my heart, and I really want them to turn it around. But it's like, at some point, it's just like I've reached the point in I'm almost 30 years old, and this is the first time in my life that I've ever been this checked out and this like apathetic, which is the worst place to be, because at least if I'm getting mad on a Sunday, like my wife used to say when we first got married, she hated when the Titans lost, because that was when we were actually good. And like she hated when the Titans lost because it would just ruin my mood for the Sunday. Mm-hmm. Now she didn't even know, because I could care less. Like I don't even care. Like I don't let it affect me anymore.
Yeah, my wife was shocked to find out yesterday that the Titans won. She was like, "What?" You know, like, yeah, they actually won. It's like, weird.
Well, no two-game winning streak for you guys as you play us now, and so you can go back to your losing ways.
Hopefully we can get that number 1 pick back so we can trade it or whatever we're doing.
Whatever you're gonna do. Let's have a moment of silence real quick. One of the last things we do today, a moment of silence for the Kansas City Chiefs season. And this has been a moment of silence for the Kansas City Chiefs, as we do not feel bad for them at all. But it is, and also I know to the chagrin of you guys, because you would rather wish well upon Satan than the Houston Texans. So you were like, can just both teams lose? Can they just fall into the San Andreas fault? I get
it's like the Hitler versus Stalin meme.
Yeah, like who do you? Yeah. So that was a rough one for you guys. I do know that, and I can relate, as sometimes like the Packers play the Rams, and I'm like, oh, my blood just boils. Like I don't even want to talk about them. So I get it. Chiefs, Texans, but definitely weird to see the Chiefs look so broken on the sidelines. It's funny. It's crazy. It's what the NFL is all about, parody. I mean,
one of my favorite moments from that game last night was when they flashed on the screen 9 straight incompletions or interceptions for Patrick Mahomes' last 9 passes, you know. And right then on cue, throws it to Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce's
and he gets
bobbles it
crushed.
behind his leg or behind his shoulder or whatever.
Who looks 47.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, and
looks
then
47
gets
during the
gets
play.
picked again, and it was just like, oh my God, man, 10 straight incompletions or an interception. Oh, that's gotta
here's
sting,
what's
man.
crazy. Bryce just mentioned that it's gotten so bad with the Titans that when they lose, his wife doesn't even know, or like, it's like no big deal. And that's telling. Here's what's telling about the Chiefs. They kept flashing over to my guy, D'Amico, on the sidelines, and he was not fired up at all. He was like this, we expected to win.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, that is very telling. He was not showing any emotion. He's like, yeah, we should be up. We should be doing what we're doing. And it's like, man, that's a Super Bowl champion. That's the Super Bowl runner-up from last year. It's the AFC champion. It's Patrick Mahomes. Now here's a guy. It's all that, right? And they
Collinsworth. He was
D'Amico
struggling.
just boy, that is telling to me now. Bryce, at the very beginning of the season, I get to toot my own horn. I said, now this is before everything, 0-0, that the Chiefs were not going to make the playoffs. And I got laughed at. And now look at that division. You got the fighting Jim Harbaughs. You got the fighting Bo Nixes. And, I mean, Kansas City is way, way on the outside looking in. Way, like, it's not even, you have teams that are 8-4 that are on the bubble. And then the Chiefs are below 500. Like, it ain't gonna happen. And it's just wild to see. And RIP to the Chiefs. We'll have to see if next year they make wholesale changes and if people retire and that kind of thing. It's that bad, which is crazy to think.
Collinsworth was struggling in that game because he was just trying to do his little, his little thing. He's like, no, Patrick Mahomes. He's what does he say? He said, oh, Patrick Mahomes there with another wild, crazy pass. I can't remember what he said. Something like another unorthodox pass there. But as we know, he's the king of unorthodox passes. It's just like this guy clamors to just anything, like, no, what it was is Houston sent the damn house at Mahomes, and Mahomes did this like Tim Tebow-esque jump pass while he was getting sacked by 4 dudes at the same time. And the ball ducked out and flipped around a little bit. And Chris Collinsworth is like, oh, an unorthodox pass. Like, no, that was just a bad pass. Like, there's nothing unorthodox about it, my man. He loves
slurps,
Patrick
definitely
Mahomes,
slurps.
I've
look,
never
Mahomes,
seen him,
overall,
love a guy like Patrick Mahomes.
This year, Mahomes' numbers are actually still, like, they're not bad.
No, not at all. I mean, they're still getting like 298 passing yards a game or something like that. I mean, but
it's just bad.
Yeah, I hate it for them. Them and the Ratbirds. Oh man, just breaks my heart.
Tough break for them.
Heartbreaking.
But the NFL, man, not for long. Look at that. Because
Jerry
both
Glanville.
those teams just a couple years ago were just cream of the crop. Now both of them might not even make the playoffs, and they still have top 10 quarterbacks. So
playoffs. So yeah, that reminds me. Remember, Bryce, mark your calendar. We gotta get you back on Wednesday to talk college football playoff. Really dive in and get intricate with it, as you are the man for all things college football. That was a great episode that you were on before the one episode that I missed. So thanks for hanging. Reminder, follow us on social media. Follow the Cineverse all over the place, from turtles to wrestling to racing to film, you name it, we are there. Just type in a word that you want to follow, and then type in Idiot Nation. I swear to God, like, what?
I learned that.
Just find it, from turtles to wrestling. It don't matter, okay? We own you. New shows happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which means, back with Bryce, we will see you Wednesday. Thank you for watching this episode of Sports Idiot Nation. Remember, we are on all social media and on YouTube, and the podcast can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Remember, new episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, because you watch Sports Idiot Nation,
You would be the smartest idiot in the whole world.